It is really nice to be ending a year with so many reasons to look forward to the next. These past 12 months have felt like a roller coaster, but one with just a few too many loop-de-loops. Like you were having fun and you were upside down. And that was okay the first time, but by the third time, you're starting to feel sick. You're hoping this is the last drop, but you already know you're headed back up. And when you're going up, that only means that you're about to feel your stomach and your throat again very soon. In 2023, the economy defied expectations and warnings alike. It would be irresponsible to only focus on the upcoming advantages. So let's begin this forecast with a couple potential troubles that we should keep a close eye on. The first is global instability. There are wars, and there are also upcoming elections, which feel like wars. Aside from the US election that we'll all become completely consumed by, that we will avoid dinner parties and Facebook because of, that we will stop talking to that one couple on your in-laws' side in advance of, there are also elections in several other nations with the world's larger economies. Speaking of the world's largest economies, we've talked about China before, and it would be worth a revisit because that is definitely something to watch. So be sure and go back and check out the previous episodes. Recession. The soft landing debate is not settled. While no one wants a recession that would bring widespread pain, we haven't completely ruled that out, or we shouldn't at least. The Fed themselves said that the American household and American business would likely feel pain as a part of their attack on inflation. And I think the main reason many haven't felt it yet, or at least haven't admitted it, is because they still had stimulus checks in their bank account. So when they were laid off, they had a bank balance to work with until they found another job. The data shows that bank balance is gone and the credit card is maxed. So we shall see how strong the US consumer remains. That being said, the December survey from the National Association for Business Economics said that 76% of economists believe the chances of a recession next year are below 50%. Compare that with the average Joe. When surveyed by MassMutual, 56% of people say that the economy is already in a recession. So both sides are fairly split on the probability. Then there's the Goldilocks dilemma. That is what Morgan Stanley is calling the Fed's rate cut strategy. Per usual, the Fed is caught between two mandates. They risk a more serious recession by keeping their Fed funds rate too high for too long. On the other hand, if they cut rates too much too quickly, inflation could rebound. Remember, when interest rates come down, consumers spend, which drives prices and inflation back up. Now, let's shift to all the reasons that we have to be optimistic about 2024 and the opportunities it will present for real estate specifically. Less volatility. It's unlikely that we will see interest rates crash down. The Fed rate cuts have already been built in as soon as they were announced earlier this month. So that's already been priced into the current interest rates that we're seeing. I'm hoping, because it would make the market much more approachable to more consumers, if rates gradually decrease to the 5% range. While lower interest rates are definitely the goal, I like making money. They boost affordability. I like that too. We know they're a double-edged sword because we know there is a massive lack of inventory. Golden handcuffs getting unlocked. Lower interest rates may help sellers find the motivation to get into a home that better fits their needs now. It's never easy to walk away from a 2% interest rate, but at some point, quality of life will win. And it's easier for quality of life to win when interest rates are in the 5s rather than the 8s, because sellers have to be able to afford their new mortgage as buyers in order to become sellers in the first place. This won't solve the inventory problem, but it would definitely help. It's something you should be reaching out to your clients who are hesitant to make a move this year so that you can discuss it with them. And my favorite is that in 2024, experts will win. We all know someone who didn't renew their license because this year was too challenging, and I am not throwing any shade in their direction. Working in sales, especially in an industry as reactive as real estate, is not for everyone. The fact is, though, that many part-timers, as well as folks with the worst commission breath who are only in this job to make a quick buck, have left. So that is good news for those of us who were committed to showing up for our sphere, even when there wasn't the best news to share. We kept providing value, even when it didn't result in an immediate paycheck. Now is the time to lean into that, even more. You earned credibility. You have the right to share the good news with them now and not come off as salesy at all, because you didn't disappear in 2023. So start letting your friends, your family, your past, and your potential clients know about the opportunities this new year will present. Some ideas to get in front of them would be start, revive, or refresh your weekly newsletter, pop onto your social media, or what I did all last week before Christmas, just call them. It sounds daunting, but it was actually really energizing to talk to my clients, see how they're doing in the new home, how the move went, what that transition was like for the kids, and share my knowledge with them. Like, I felt better and better with each phone call and realized why that's the traditional way to keep in touch with your sphere. So I bet you'll have a similar experience. And then in closing, next week, we will continue with our monthly housing market updates every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month. It's pretty quick, typically about 30 minutes, and my team shares with you all the economic news that has come out over the past month and how it affects real estate. And the way we approach all this information is how we're seeing it actually play out, like what we're seeing buyers do, what we're seeing happening with the escrows that we have, and what we're hearing from our realtor partners. It's really casual, but it's very informative every time. It's perfect for buyers, for sellers, for investors, and for realtors. So invite your clients, come yourself, gather up all the knowledge. The more we share with each other, the better we'll all do. The only change is that we're changing the name from Housing Opportunities to Property Pursuits. But we'll see you on Wednesday at noon Pacific. I'll put the link below to register.